Hello and welcome to the tennis. It's draft day. Who will we pick in our Wimbledon fantasy teams?
Who?
Maya on fire, Aussie teen sensation, takes out the British No.1 at Eastbourne. And Wimbledon's Smokies. The players nobody wants to face at the championships.
Oh, so not having a dart out the back of the courts.
No.
Okay.
That's all ahead with me, Brie Stewart. Next to me is my co-host, Xavier Mullabach.
I'm here. And you said my name right. That's really great.
That's really exciting. Yeah. But moving on to the most important people across the table, we've got the math magician from Match Labs, Levi Huddleston.
Hey guys, it's fun to be here.
Yeah.
I really like your outfit. You've really done the Wimbledon colours well.
Well, I try. I was looking through the wardrobe, wasn't sure what I was going to find. And then sometimes you do find that thing. You're like, oh, that's
It's perfect.
That's
It's oddly
gonna be
perfect.
It.
And
Yeah.
we did have to explain it to our next guest, who has just come from France, Spain and Portugal, Dan Imhoff, because he's colourblind.
Thanks, Brie. Now everyone knows that bit. Totally
It's
fine.
nothing to be ashamed
Not at
of.
all. It's totally
No,
fine.
I mean,
It's okay.
now we know why you always wear odd socks. It's not your own fault.
Feeling fresh, ready to go.
Yeah. And how was the wedding that you went to
Wedding in
overseas?
Portugal was amazing. Still recovering. That was only on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Okay, it's Thursday now.
Right, they go
Big
till
wedding.
5 a.m. in Portugal.
They're
We're
called-
too
little
old
bit
for that,
different.
Dan. We're over 40.
100% we're too old.
Speak for yourself.
You guys are fine.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not. Isn't it funny we look the youngest?
Well, anyway, I'm wearing white because Wimbledon. Levi's got proper purple and green. You look like you've had a lawnmower on you, so
Yeah.
that's on. And you're wearing a denim shirt.
That's
But
all
did
I
you
had.
think it was white?
It was all I had clean.
Oh, okay, right.
I think it's fair.
laundry,
He only
a lot of
hopped,
washing to be
he
done.
only hopped off a plane Tuesday night. How was Roland Garros before we get into
It
Wimbledon?
was incredible, as
Yeah.
you would have all discussed in the wash-up. Both finals were great. You don't always get
Well, the men's just finished, didn't it?
pretty much. had to bail halfway through for dinner, but
Yeah.
the ending was incredible.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. And the crowd was superb. Felt a bit sorry for Sinner, but, that's
That's
been
the
and gone.
beauty of
That's
the
the beauty
game.
of the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'll be right.
He'll be fine.
He'll be okay. Well, it's great to have you all here. We have got a massive Wimbledon preview show ahead of us. Lots to get in. So let's kick things off, though, by crossing to our wonderful reporters, our very own Todd Woodbridge and Duncan McKenzie-McHarg, who are calling in to us from the Tennis Australia house in Wimbledon.
Yes, guys, strawberries and cream, pims and lemonade, and grass takes centre stage. Wimbledon is here. It's my absolute pleasure to be joined by a 9-time men's doubles champion, a 1-time mixed doubles champion, and this time of year, dinner party host.
Dinner
Todd
party
Woodbridge.
host. Well, the dinner party host thing is about the Australian barbecue that happens on the Friday of the
It
first
happens
week.
here at Tennis Australia House.
Yeah, and so this year, normally I come in and do the interviews. I think this year Mark Woodford and I are celebrating an anniversary, so I know it's like interviewing yourself at your own wake.
Yeah.
So, but
Your
I'm
own
going to
party.
be there.
Yes, 25 years since you won the men's doubles in the year 2000 and
Yeah.
30 years since you won it
Yeah.
in 1995. What do you remember from those years, Todd?
Oh, look, I think... I remember you win it once and you think how lucky you are. Then you come back and we won it again, and we won 5 in a row. And I look back at that now, going, how did we do that? We lost the final of 6, and obviously I won a few more after that. But I just the thing I remember was coming back to Wimbledon, feeling like I could win it again, and that
Yeah.
was never defending, and it's such a mindset for people. When you get, defend your points and rankings, you go, oh, I'll get scared, can I do it? It never felt like that. It was just this great feeling of walking down the hill of Marriott Road from Wimbledon Village to the club and just going, I love this place. And
Yeah,
so
good.
I don't know why that happened, it just did, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah.
The other one is it was 20 years this tournament that I retired here
Right.
at Wimbledon, played the
Yeah.
last match. So there's all these numbers, 30, 25, 20.
Yeah.
I still feel like I'm 20.
That's a lifetime of memories. I want to talk about the Australians. We've got 13 and counting in the men's and women's singles draws. Let's start off with the men first.
Yeah.
And Alex de Minaur. Obviously, he experienced an incredible high this time last year. Made his first Wimbledon quarterfinal,
Yeah.
and then a devastating low. Couldn't play in that quarterfinal match against Novak Djokovic because of that hip injury. What do you make of Alex's chances in 2025?
I think they're good. It obviously comes with a very different preparation. He was disappointed with the loss in Paris and then didn't get as many grass court matches as he would have liked. But for him, I actually feel like as long as he's okay with it, it's a great prep because he needs to refresh a little bit. He was tired. He said that. He put so much into the clay court season. He knows he can play brilliant on grass. The one thing he does need to do is lower his expectation.
Yeah.
He wants it so badly, and that has hindered his performance here in the past. So I'm hoping very much so that he goes, let it all sort of be, not get hung up on it, and then yes, he can definitely make a semi here. Seeding's going to be really important. He's just outside the top 10 now, so it depends where he falls in the draw. But if he can keep away from those quarters of Alcaraz and Sinner, then I think a semi can beckon.
It's a really exciting time in the women's game for the Aussies,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is.
Daria Kasatkina, we can call her our own
Yeah.
now. And Maya Joint,
Well,
she's just cracked the world's top 50.
I've been chatting on the pod a fair bit about Maya. You know, I could see, I think it was like 30-20 we can see her getting to. So she got inside the top 50, wins over Raducanu at Eastbourne. The only thing for her that I worry about is that she's experiencing these big tournaments in the main draw for the first time. And like in Paris where she won the week before, she's had no time to settle in and feel the conditions of the club. Just get used to what it's going to be like. She's going to come in late, and she's hopefully has a little bit more experience from what happened in Paris that she can use here at Wimbledon, because if she does, the quality of ball striking and what she's playing, she's just continuing to rise. And I think if she can get through round one, then she's off and racing. I think then she can really let it happen. And boy, anything's possible when you have no barriers, no fears, and that's exactly how she's playing.
Todd, I'm going to put you on the spot now. Who are going to be the champions for 2025? You're the men's and women's
Yeah,
singles.
I mean, I'm going with Carlos.
Three-peat.
I find it hard not to be able to go with him. You know, he has to stay healthy, injury-free. If he does, he has the confidence, played brilliantly at Queen's.
Yeah.
He's just a level above on grass. Sinner has closed the gap. I think he's very close. And Novak, let's not... I know that Novak is pulling out every stop to be as fit and ready as he can be for here. But I think the other two just are a step above. And nobody volleys and moves like Alcaraz on grass for me.
And for the women?
I think it's a wide open tournament.
Yeah.
I think Sabalenka is the obvious favourite, but I think it's going to be difficult mentally for her to recover from what happened in Paris. I think she wants everybody to to love her, to feel good for her, and she's going to be really trying to get people back on side after the reactions of her press conference and the like in Paris. So I'm going to go a little bit left field, not way left, but I'm going to go with Mira Andreeva.
I like it. She's my pick as well.
I just think the way that she has been building, and if sometimes women's draws can open up, and I think she's ready to now go through and do that. I think Coco has a great chance, but I think going back to back might be more difficult for Coco. So interesting tournament no matter what.
Finally, Todd, Brie came to Roland Garros for the very first time this year.
Yes.
And I hijacked her top 5, and I gave her my top 5 for Roland Garros.
Okay.
So I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Okay.
Todd's top 5.
All right.
How do you experience the perfect day watching tennis here at Wimbledon?
Okay, so let's start with 5. I'm going to go, you must go and view the queue.
Of course.
And snake their way it snakes down into the park. Even if you're lucky enough not to have to line up in it, go and have a look at it. Let's go to 4. Okay, when you get in, you got to try Pimm's. Make sure there's a bit of cucumber, some orange and mint. That finishes it off beautifully.
Delicious.
Now then, you get towards afternoon tea. So we'll go 3, we'll go strawberries, and you've got to have the fresh cream. Make sure you get the big plump ones because they're magnificent as well. Now, the next thing is you've got to get out to the outside courts later in the afternoon and watch a bit of doubles.
Yep.
Right? Because that's where some great viewing happens. And particularly those first few days too, where you get those matches on the outside courts that mean so much to players that we don't see sometimes on the centre and number 1 court. And finally, you've got to find a way to get into the centre court.
Absolutely.
That is what I call the mecca of tennis. This is the home of tennis. Now, if you don't have a ticket, what do? You go up to the booth. What do we call that?
The resale booth.
The resale booth, and you get your ticket. Most people get the chance to get in, and it's unique to all of the majors that you can get that chance to get in and spend. Maybe it's a set or something late in the evening on the centre court, but don't leave without trying to get into the centre court.
There you go. Grand Slam champion, Logie nominee, and now tour guide, Todd Woodbridge. Thanks for joining us once again.
Good idea, Duncan.
So Todd's called out Andreeva as his sort of dark horse win.
Yep.
You pulled quite the face there, Dan.
I did. She hasn't won many
Ooh.
matches leading in, and she had. I thought she was
On
going to make the
grass.
set on
Is that what
grass.
you meaning?
On grass.
Yeah, okay.
But even in Paris, I thought she was a roughie to win it. Not that there was any shame in losing in the quarters, but she lost to Boisson, which was a big upset, really. And I thought she might have challenged Goff in the semis, but that's been and gone, different surface. She'll have reset. And yeah, she hasn't done a huge amount on grass at Wimbledon yet, but she hasn't played many either, so you can't read too much into her record.
And what do we think about his other pick of Alcaraz? Is that just a no-brainer? Is that a lazy pick from Todd?
Possibly.
A safe bet.
It's a very safe bet.
Yeah,
A
I
very
mean,
lazy
Him or
safe bet.
Sinner?
Yeah, exactly. Ooh. Yeah, controversy.
but you want him on your team, don't you?
Well, yeah, you're
Absolutely.
teasing
I
our upcoming first in, best dressed on that one.
Honestly, I haven't really thought about my fantasy team. And we all know mine will be the worst, don't we?
I know, you might get real lucky, if there's traffic on the way to Wimbledon and Alcaraz doesn't make it.
Is that what it's going to take?
What do we think of Alcaraz?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to look past his success in the past. And I think sometimes with Alcaraz, the hard court season is the majority of the year, and people kind of think, oh, he's down, he's not playing as well as he was. And then it comes to Roland Garros and Wimbledon, and then he just is just surging again. So I think it's fair to pick Alcaraz. He's got huge pace on his ground strokes, and it just opens the court up for him, and his serve's been improving too. So yeah, I mean, I think he was a solid pick last year, and it doesn't seem like he's doing better this year. So yeah, I would give him an edge to definitely
So
take
year
the
on
title.
year, he's in a better position now than he was.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, like it ebbs and flows in tennis, but I think this run is a bit stronger.
And the guy can volley, which we haven't always said about Spanish players in the past. They're more traditionally were better on the clay, but he can play on any surface really, and not afraid to come to net, moves as well as anyone, anticipates. So he's really the complete package, as we saw in Paris.
I've got a question, and before we move on to the big week that we've had with the Aussies, but on a lot of literature, I've been reading literature.
A lot of TikToks that Brie has been watching.
I was on Google Scholar last night.
I actually paid for the PDF.
Peer-reviewed articles.
Literature. Where did that come from?
Spell literature. But keep
I
going.
probably can't. But I've been reading a lot of articles about, and they always go, they really move to the net well. And are we losing a little bit from some of the modern day tennis, the art of the volley?
Yeah, because it's more difficult now. The pace of the shot, the modern technology, the rackets, the strings make it a lot easier to pass someone at net. So there's less incentive to get there.
Yeah.
But Alcaraz is someone who still mixes it up enough and has the power and the variety with drop shots that he can approach net a bit more than some guys.
Yeah, cool. Well, you've just answered some questions that I picked up from literature. So what we will...
Hashtag literature, everybody.
Hashtag literature girl. Let's move on to how good of a week we have had for the Aussies. And Dan, did you want to kick us off with some Maya Joint?
Yeah, so
information?
Todd touched on it there. Maya through to the quarterfinals in Eastbourne, and she's had two great wins there. The one over first round, I think she beat Jabeur, which is
She
former
did.
Wimbledon finalist. And then she led, I think, 5-3 against Emma Raducanu, failed to serve it out, but still ended up getting across the line, which was no mean feat. You've got the whole British crowd there.
It was bloody
against
windy
you.
too.
Windy,
Yeah.
down on the southern coast there. If she makes the semis, I think she's due to play Blinkova in the quarterfinals. She'll be favourite there. If she made the semis, she'd have made 3 this year, all on different surfaces. So she's starting to push her case
She's on the map.
as an all-court player. Yeah.
And as Todd said, from London, Wimbledon, he has picked that she'll just keep rising, and she's definitely someone that could be big for our Australian
Yeah,
women,
and she made a
right?
good comment after beating Raducanu that she was going for the lines, and that's a good sign if she's confident and making those shots. Because it's one thing to say you're going for them, but if you're spraying them and it's a complete disaster, then you can't keep doing that.
Explain that term for some of our less tennis
But it means
Co-hosts.
Going for the lines.
It means your margins for error are smaller. You're going,
okay.
you're going literally for the
Risky,
lines.
bold.
Yeah, not that she's
shots.
playing like
Yeah.
completely risky tennis.
Yeah.
Still measured.
But
Clever
instead of
tennis.
going centre mass, you're trying to push the other player to the limits.
She was manoeuvring Raducanu beautifully, and even there was one point she played a pretty ordinary drop shot, but she moved and anticipated so well that she managed to whip it past her anyway. So yeah, she's really hitting form at the right time. As Todd said, after her Rabat title, she struggled to then make an impact in Paris. Ran into Isla first round.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting how she finds her feet as soon as she hits Wimbledon, which will be a little bit different to the grass at Eastbourne.
I also think, and this could, I don't know how this will affect her in Wimbledon, but watching her against Isla, it looked like she was tired because she'd just run Rabat. And she's kind of doing the same thing again.
Yeah,
she's
but
going
and she
well
won the
in
doubles in
Eastbourne.
Rabat as well, so she
Yeah.
definitely would have been
She
a
doubled up.
little bit tired.
Yeah. It will be exciting to see what happens next for Maya
Yeah,
Joint.
and she's only 19, so onwards and upwards.
Yeah. But what have you got for a save?
Oh, it is time once again. It's Grand Slam season. Fantasy draft time. Fantasy, tennis. Well, I had to make my own sting because Andy didn't, even though I didn't ask him for one. Anyway, so fantasy draft. We've got 3 teams. We've got Team Dan, Team Levi, and Team Brie. Each of you will be selecting from the field 2 men and 2 women who you believe will go furthest into Wimbledon, maybe even win the thing. And there are points associated. So if they get to the second round, they get 1 point. If they are the champion of the whole event, you get 10 points. And you get points along the way. So over the next couple of weeks, we'll keep tabs on this, see how you go. It's also a little sneaky way of previewing the event, seeing who's who in the zoo. But it's so I can understand who is doing what. It's going to be fun.
Good idea.
So we've mixed it up. It's a snake draft order. Doesn't really matter what that means. But basically, pick number 1 goes to Levi.
Woo! There we go. Brie, is that your work photo?
Yeah.
And
Oh.
Tinder and Instagram. And...
No, I don't use it on dating apps.
Oh, okay.
That's a nice photo.
Thank you. Maybe I should. After this, we'll update my
Levi's
dating
taking
apps.
his wedding ring off. And it's like, oh, damn.
No, none of that.
Bless.
Well, I'm going to choose Carlos Alcaraz.
He got him.
Wow, surprise.
First pick, first round pick.
This
Yeah.
is rigged.
No.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah. The check cleared.
mine.
I mean, there's no money changing hands and it's fine.
thank you, Xave. Appreciate that. I mean, like I said, it's hard to look past him. He's done so well in the past. I just can't. I can't not pick him as a first round pick.
And like he might, even if he doesn't win, he's going to go deep. So safe bet. Well played.
Thank you.
All right. Number 2 on our pick list, Brie. Nice. So you put a lot of thought into this in
I
advance.
have. I'm still thinking out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving the people some fun. I don't know whether this is a good move, but I'm going to go with Jasmine Paolini.
Paolini put her on the board.
Yeah. Why am I going with her? I just feel like she's in great form. I just have a weird spidey feeling, and I'm going to go with my psychic abilities.
Cool. I mean, she's cool.
She made the final last year,
Yeah.
She did.
so that's a
And remember,
decent
everyone
run.
was like, oh, she's not going to win this. And she didn't, but they didn't think she'd go as far. But yeah, I just got good feeling for her. It's her
Okay.
time.
All right. Paolini on the board for Team Brie.
Yeah.
All right. Imhoff.
All right, number 1. I'm going to go with a women's pick first.
Yeah, I did too. Good one.
Yeah, it was Paolini. Just happened.
Not one of the obvious ones, but she has won it before. I'm going to go with Elena Raducanu.
The Rabat.
I thought about her.
Yeah. Okay. 11th seed.
She's a bit of an enigma. You never quite know.
I just
It's
don't know where she's at
often-
the moment.
Yeah, whether it's mental,
offense.
physical, but when she is on, she is arguably one of the best in the world, particularly on grass, which we saw in 2022 when she beat Jabeur to become the Wimbledon champion. She's also done well there the subsequent 2 years. I think she made the quarters the following year, semis again last year, which kind of went unnoticed a bit. But yeah, look, it depends a lot on her own mental state. She has had a few wins on the grass coming in. She narrowly lost to Sabalenka in the Berlin quarterfinals, so that's not a bad result.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like with the nature of the draw, like you don't need to get both champions. If you get enough, you get 4
Well, it's
picks who go
points-based,
deep.
right?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing against her is she's the 11th seed. She's
Yeah.
dropped out of the top 10, so she's at the mercy of the draw. Could run into one of the top seeds, as she did in Paris. She ran into Iga in the 4th round.
Ouch.
So Yeah.
Okay. All right. Watching brief.
Yeah.
Okay. Round 2. We're going to stick with you, Dan.
Okay.
Hit me with your next
I
pick.
might.
Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Go.
I'm going to switch to the men's end, and we'll go with Novak Djokovic.
I've heard of him. Yep.
Interesting. Really interesting.
Okay. Well, he's got a few trophies from the old Wimby. in
Yeah,
his
kind of
back
well
room.
known.
Yeah,
Bit
yeah,
of-
yeah.
Bit of a
One
track
from
record
me.
at Wimbledon.
I reckon he could do well here. Yep.
Yep.
I feel like,
Because he's an omnipresent goat.
well,
on
he
any
still
surface.
thinks he's got another slam in him, and
He thinks he's got another gold medal in him. So
he could do yet. Wouldn't put it past him, but
2028.
if
here
there's
he
a slam,
comes.
he might get another one. I think Wimbledon could be his best chance.
I think that's a good pick.
yep.
Keep in mind, he's probably going to have to beat one of or both Alcaraz or Sinner, which is not easy to do. But he beat Alcaraz quarterfinals at AO this year, beat Zverev quarterfinals in Paris, so he's still got those big wins in him. He's thereabouts. Yeah, so I'm going to lock him in as my first men's pick.
Very good. All right. Thank you, Dan. Bree,
I'm going to make a purely strategic move here.
that time.
And also because he just brought out a song with Andrea Bocelli, and it feels appropriate to honour
That was the ultimate sin, really.
That
It was
masterpiece.
Like, I love Andrea Bocelli. Like, don't get me wrong. Songs of my childhood. But that was
I listened
cringy.
to it a couple of times and
To say
just
the least.
couldn't get into it. But it is a nice clash of culture and tennis. And to honour that, I'm going to pick Jannik Sinner.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes.
Not Andre
I
Bocelli.
was
I like, great
very
singer. He is
lead.
blind, but okay, Jannik
Quite
Sinner.
the intro there.
obviously he's had some good runs this year. AO champion, finalist at Roland Garros and Rome. 2025 grass court season so far saw him lose to Bublik at Halle. So who knows what's ahead for him, but the song is interesting and we're
Yep.
going with him.
And he's a top seed, so good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe right.
You don't,
Classic.
you don't sound sure
Yeah.
now.
I don't know, but like I've got to put a big one in there for my points.
Got a big dog in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, Levi, hit us up with your pick number 2.
Well, I'm going to go with a women's pick, and I'm going to go with the number 1 seed,
Again.
Sabalenka.
Good.
Well, I was number 2 seed
No,
last
I mean
time.
like again going the big dog.
Oh, of
I love
course.
watching the little box pull the
Yeah.
people across. It's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, she's had strong results there in the past. She hasn't won it yet, but I think she's in great form. She hits the crap out of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, she just slugs it. She's got a big serve.
And a big mouth lately, but she's talked a lot
Yeah.
about back.
Yeah, semifinal there in Berlin. I think she has a good chance of taking the title, honestly.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, thank you, Levi. Third round. We're going to stick with you, Mr. Levi.
What?
What's feeling in your jeans now?
How does he get to go twice?
My God.
Why
That's
does
good, right?
Why does he get
don't
to
know.
go twice?
Because the next
I did.
round,
It's
Brie.
I
snake
did
order.
Yeah. Hey, Brie, go read something. You stepped on my jeans joke.
I
Carry
didn't-
on,
I didn't
Levi.
think it was appropriate.
Oh.
No, you just don't get it. That's fine.
My grandpa called me britches growing up.
Oh, Levi, got it. I just got it.
No,
shit. The last
I
horse
didn't
just
get
crossed
it.
the finish line.
I didn't get it until I was about 12, and I never
Hey, there you
knew
go.
why
You
it
got the
was.
mental acuity of an 11-year-old.
Oh dear, I'm gonna have a glass of water.
Yeah, but on camera that does look a lot like wine. And that's fine.
It's definitely water.
Yeah, good.
But for my pick, I'm gonna go with Madison Keys. I think it's
Interesting
similar. I'm
choice.
building kind of
AO
a
champion.
similar arsenal. AO champion.
There's a lot of power there.
a lot of power, and they've been in good form recently. It'll be interesting to see how she does at Wimbledon, but I'm gonna back Keys.
Yeah, and I think she's going to be going in with a lot of positive thoughts and really good fitness. Like she's at a pretty top-notch level of
Yeah.
her game at the moment. Good one. All right, thanks, Levi. Okay, Brie.
Is it my turn?
Yes, Brie.
Okay, I want to take Draper.
Okay, Draper. Next up, we have.
Did you want him?
I did.
I am going with Draper because he is in good form, although he was a bit sick recently with tonsillitis and a little bit frustrated as well during his match at Queen's when he lost to Lehechka, but he still made it to the semi-finals. So I also think playing at Wimbledon with a home crowd could either be make or break, but hopefully it pushes him through, and I think he's the hot thing right now.
Yeah, well, he's going to have some
Yeah.
boisterous crowds behind him. He's the
enormous
UK number
pressure.
one.
Can you imagine how good the
Enormous
energy will be for his matches?
Yeah.
Him and Katie Boulter, like
Yeah.
the sweethearts of English tennis. So, yeah, I'm
Wait,
really
does Demon know that?
sweethearts of. They're not together.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying
They're
like.
just both English.
Oh, right.
No, but I am very happy with that pick, and I'm really happy I took it off
Yeah,
you.
and that
Yeah.
actually makes it so much better, right?
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
No one seemed worried about Paolini or
No,
Sinner.
less worried about Paolini.
Yeah.
I'm going to pivot.
Oh.
I'm
It
guessing it's my
is
turn.
you are correct.
I'm going to pivot
How come
back to
I
the
don't
women
get to
then.
go twice?
Because it's snake. Okay, calm down. Everything's fine. I'm an adult. It's snake order, Brie. Just follow the system. Dan, what's your next
I
pick?
don't understand.
I'm going to pivot back and clinch one of the favourites so I don't end up with some outsiders here and go with Goff.
Yeah.
She-
Coco Loco. Why not?
Why not? She got one back in you. She was understandably a bit exhausted
This one's gone too.
after Paris lost a match on grass. Where was that? In Berlin, her first match. That I wouldn't read into that at all. She'll appreciate the extra time now to reset. And she has a history there. She qualified, obviously, as a 15-year-old back in 2019. Went to the fourth round, beat Venus Williams en route. I mean, if anything, if Paris showed us anything, it's her fighting qualities.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
she's not even,
She's
may
amazing.
not be playing her absolute best. So she's always in the mix.
Her mental strength
Mental strength
is
phenomenal.
amazing.
She's got the mental strength for someone much older than herself. Like
100%.
she's the
100%.
maturity
Yeah.
on and off court
Yeah.
that can
I think
translate
she
into
has
her
great
game.
family. I reckon that's
I think
part
that is
of it.
part of it, definitely.
Yeah.
Part of it.
And maybe a lot
Yeah.
of trust and great relationship with her coaching team and those around
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Like not surrounded by yes people, not surrounded by, those who are trying to bring her down.
Yep.
Unless
when,
she's
when you speak to her, you think you're talking to someone like late 20s.
Yeah.
She's been around 6 years or so on tour, but still, she's got this maturity that
Yeah. It's
belies her.
unbelievable.
And I would
for
love
years.
to see a Sabalenka Goff final. Like that would be
Be
pretty
juicy.
good on the grass.
Yeah, it would.
And the press conference afterwards would be pretty
Haven't we
cool.
seen that before?
Not this one. We've seen two now.
All right, well, Dan, okay, so hold on to your hat, Brie. We're going to stay with Dan for his
And-
final
Oh, because
pick.
I'm in the middle, I never get a double.
Correct.
Got you.
But you never last either.
Yeah.
So we'll go to my final men's pick.
Here we go.
And it is a bit left field, but I'm going to go with Jiří Lehečka.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I know he's not top 10. He's not even top 20 for that matter.
Yep, 23rd seed.
But the Czechs do love the grass. And he showed that this week with the run to the final in Queens.
Queens. Yeah.
Took a set there off Alcaraz. I know it's not a slam, but yeah, he can play on the surface. Reached the fourth round there 2 years ago. So
Okay. And he could have a reasonably friendly draw, being that low seeded player.
at the moment he's number 25. So yeah, it depends a lot on the draw
Okay.
for him.
Which is tomorrow, Brie, our time.
Yeah, tomorrow.
A couple of good wins
sometime.
in Queens over Draper and de Minaur en route. So it wasn't a soft draw for him by any stretch.
Right.
Yeah.
No, good pick. All right. He's so far the roughest of the roughies on our board. So I'll be watching that one with breath that is baited. Okay, Brie,
Good pick, though. Interesting pick.
over to you. Your final pick. In
My
the Wimbledon
final pick, and
Fantasy
I'm so
Draft,
glad I
draft,
haven't
draft,
missed out
draft.
on this. But I'm guessing no one else wanted her.
Cool.
I'm going with Mira Andreeva, which
Yeah.
is also who Todd had picked. I'm going with Mira. Firstly, I love her, and she's one of my favorite players on the tours. I think she's amazing. She obviously 2025 highlights. She was a champ at Indian Wells and Dubai, finalist at Roland Garros. Her best progress at Wimbledon in the past was fourth round in 2023. Obviously, in the past 2 years, a lot has changed in her maturity, style, coach, all of that stuff. So she hasn't had a great grass court season as yet because she lost round one at Berlin. But she does play Noskova next at the quarterfinal of Bad Homburg. So she, might have some form. So I'm going with her.
Okay,
And I
that's-
love her to bits. She just has the
She
best
is lovely.
personality.
She's
Yeah,
amazing.
every time she's here in Melbourne, she's just
She is
perfect.
so good
Such
for
a
the
personality.
game.
Yeah. Yep.
She's so good. So go Mira. You have all my support.
All right, you're locked in now, Brie. Good little
Locked
mix you've got
in.
there.
I think I've got a good mix.
Excellent.
do.
All right, and now for the final pick of this year's Wimbledon Fantasy Draft, the shark himself, Dan Denim, Levi.
I got it, yes.
So, I mean, I know this is a bit out there, but I'm going to go with a dark horse. I'm going to go with Alexander Bublik.
Oh, Bublik.
Oh, that's not a dark horse at the moment.
Oh,
28.
Yeah, but like have you seen what he's? No, you probably haven't seen what he's been doing lately. It's performing really well.
I knew what his seed was.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think Bublik has, like Brie said, he's been on a tear, and I think he's still a bit of a dark horse, but what he's showing out there, I think he could go quite far. And I'm hoping to get in and talk a little bit more about that as we go through
you do
the
have some of your
podcast.
Levi's long shots coming up
Yeah.
a little bit later. So, Team Levi, Alcaraz, Sabalenka, Keys, and Bublik. Team Brie, Paolini, Sinner, Draper, and Andreeva.
Woo!
And Team Dan, bringing it home, Raducanu, Djokovic, Kokogov, and Lehechka, the Czech 23rd seed. So, follow along at home, give us your picks, see who you would pick yourself, which of our teams is going to win. It won't be Brie, and we'll go from there. Sorry, Brie, you were going to send us to an ad break, were you?
We're going to go to an ad break, and after that, we will check in with Levi's long shot.
Levi's, long shot.
Oh, this is getting old. Okay, welcome back. We are going to hand over to Levi now in a segment we've called Levi's Long Shots, and he's going to talk about some players that could be considered dark horses and why they could cause some troubles at Wimbledon.
And also why you picked one in the draft.
Yes.
Yeah. So, the work that we do, it really focuses on game analysis, and we try to help the players and the coaches understand, what's happening on the court. And so our team really focuses on diving into that type of data. So my picks, which I did pick this player, Bublik, Alexander Bublik, and Marketa Vondrousova. And so I want to really highlight Bublik in terms of just the change that he's kind of undergone in the last year. I mean, this is a guy who was coming into the spring saying, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue playing tennis. And now
Then he went to Vegas.
And then he went to Vegas.
My man.
And he had
you
this,
love him for that. Yeah.
I mean, what?
He put himself on my radar. Any man who
Sin
can
City.
use craps to kind of center himself, genius.
I mean, it's such an interesting story. And if you dive in deeper into it, basically, he was overtraining, is what he said. He said, I was too serious about it and I was too robotic. I was trying to be like the other players and I couldn't quite. It wasn't for him. And so he went to Vegas. He had a change of a mindset. And he's come back, and he's actually come back so strong. I mean, you look at his mentality and the mentality in terms of his fortitude out there. Break points saved. Those are really hard. That's a lot of pressure that's being put on you. If you lose your serve in tennis, that's a huge blow, obviously. Up 30% from last year in terms of like grass court performance. So
Wow.
30%, that's crazy. So not only is he, serving really well, but then he's fending off these points. So it's like basically 9 out of 10 break points he's saving.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And in order to do that, he would have to be so multi-purpose, really.
Yeah.
Not just, get lucky with what's being thrown at him. He needs to be able to do the long rallies, the short rallies, go to the net, the baseline, the whole shebang.
Everything.
Wow.
And so what's really interesting is, and I don't know if it's part of this mentality of letting go, but he's actually hitting harder on both wings. So he's hitting 15 Ks harder on his forehand and his backhand. So he's
15
increased.
kilometers.
Yeah. So he's really amping it up. And if you see the people he's playing against, they're standing farther and farther back to try to
In
absorb
response
his pace.
to him.
Yeah, right? Wow. But now he's pulling out the drop shots. And so now they're having to run and try to get these drop shots. And he's known as a showman. He knows how to do that. So he has this pace where he's pushing them back and he's bringing them in with these drop shots. And then, like you're talking about, there's kind of a loss of the volley game as we, get into this era. But his hands are really quite good up there too. So he'll do the drop shot, they'll run and get it, and he'll be right there to put away the volley. So I think, his game has really changed since his mindset changed. And I'm very curious to see how he'll do at Wimbledon because obviously that's a little bit more pressure than his title run at Halle. So
There's definitely a mindset shift because he didn't make second weeks of slams much at all. And Paris, he not only made it, he then beat Draper.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember watching him against Alex de Minaur. And I know Alex probably didn't have the best match, but you could tell that he was a different player. On the tour.
Well, he was at about 20 last year, and then he dropped to 80. It's only been in the last couple months that he's actually skyrocketed back up to 30. And if you look at his rankings...
he went from 76 to 30, didn't he?
Yeah,
just recently.
Crazy, yeah.
And a decent run at Wimbledon then could skyrocket him again, like towards the top 10.
Yeah.
Not in, but towards.
No, yeah. I mean, so it's just interesting to think about how not everything works the same way for every player. You know, you can't be this robot out there if that's not your personality. And I think that's an interesting story, interesting takeaway to say, okay.
Who are the robots?
I think a lot of people would think Sinner.
Yep.
You know, Djokovic, you know, they have these patterns and these routines. Nadal, they do the same things. They're out there training. But Bublik, I think trying to put himself into that, you know, he's a square trying to go into the round-shaped hole. It's hard. And so I think it's an interesting realization that, like, maybe I have to pivot the way I play the game.
Yeah, you've always seen him as more of an entertainer. And while Kyrgios held that mantle for a long time, Bublik was often considered like a lesser version of that. But he's clearly got the ability and just needed to unlock that, as you said, in a different manner. It's not one size fits all for a player. They don't all have to train exactly the same.
We've seen that with Alcaraz too. He needs more time off.
Yeah.
He comes
he had
back
his little
stronger.
Ibiza getaway.
Yeah,
and
Ibiza,
still came back and won a title. So
love it.
Yeah,
Good for him.
He partied hard. He played harder. Good on him.
And then who do we have next?
Well, so for the second pick, I'm going with Vondrousova.
Yeah.
So, you know, she just had the Berlin title. And again,
She had an injury recently.
Yeah, 2024.
Yeah.
She had surgery on her rotator cuff after the U.S. Open. And I can relate to that. So I tore my shoulder.
I thought you meant because you were playing Grand Slam tennis.
No, not quite.
He did it playing Grand Slam.
I was in the stands. Actually, I was throwing back one of the balls that they hit. And
That can really get you.
Yeah, it really can. Because, you know, there's a lot of pressure there. But no, I think to have that surgery, the shoulder heals super slow because there's very little blood flow that gets in there. And so for her to win a title, you know, less than a year after that is incredible. And it's just a testament to probably how much work she had to put in terms of the rehab to get her shoulder mobile and to start serving and everything like that. So it's really cool to see her take that title. And I think the question on everyone's mind is, okay, she's won at Wimbledon before. Now, is she in the same form that she was previously? And so if we look at kind of some of the big picture stuff in terms of her return game, is it as good as we would think is expected of the top 10? And so it actually is. She's winning return games about 4 percentage points above the top 10 at 45%. So she's doing well on her return game. And then what really makes up that return game when you break is your break point conversion. So how often are you capitalizing on the opportunities that you have? And so her break point conversion is actually 6 points above the top 10 at 54%. So her return game is there and it's at the top 10 level, exceeding the top 10 level. But where she's maybe lacking a little bit is on her serve.
Right.
So her serve is just not going in as much as it should. It's at, you know, -7 of the top 10. So really what she needs to be able to do on grass especially is to get that first serve in, and that's going to increase her ability to hold. So she has the ability to break with her impressive return game, but she's really going to need to be able to hold and get those first serves in.
So looking at her movement, like what's the problem that you've been able to see using the data? Is it her accuracy, shot placement, reading the other player?
Yeah. So she has this really good tactic that she uses. So she's a lefty, right? And if you've played tennis and you're getting served at from a lefty, what they often do, especially on the ad side, is they'll serve you out wide on the backhand. And so you have this really terrible choice to make. Do I either go cross court, and that's the easier shot? I'm out of position, but I could go cross court, but then I'm hitting it right at their forehand. Or do I try to go over the high point of the net and go down the line? It's a tough choice to make. And so often when you look at the patterns there, people are choosing to go back cross court to her forehand. she can open up the field and either hit down the line, or she does this really loopy forehand back to the backhand, and it's just a nightmare to deal with. So she has this really good play. Again, when her first serve goes in, she can set up that mechanism where she's going to target the backhand or open up the court and go down the line. And so I think that could be a real strength for her. So that's kind of where I see her strengths. On the serve patterns, I think she could mix it up a bit. Like I said, she likes to use those patterns of going to the backhand. They can get a little bit predictable. So, for instance, she only hit about 1% of serves to the forehand on the second serve on I think it's the deuce side. So it's like, well, if you're not hitting that, obviously you don't want to hit a second serve to the forehand too often. But if you're never doing it, it becomes easier to read and say, oh, she's never going to hit a forehand.
Yeah.
I'm just going
I know how to prepare
tank
for
on
this.
this backhand. So,
Unless that's her plan.
It
Goes
could
into
be.
Wimbledon and she's just
worked
mixing
before.
it up. 50-50.
Yeah. So I think, she's got all the talent there. And she has what it takes. She's won it before. I think that she's a real contender there, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Amazing.
Well, the insights yourself and Simon Ray, both from Match Labs, our in-house data science gurus, you bring are always phenomenal. And I have a lot to think about now based on
But I
everything
tell you what,
just said.
if they're both out in the first round, you sure as shit will be deleting this episode.
No, take it on board for later. All very useful.
You never can predict everything, but
No.
it's interesting
Dude, that's
to
literally
see
your job.
It literally is.
the win predictor.
Yeah.
The wind predictor. Anyway, we're going to roll into everyone's favourite segment.
Your thing.
We've got a Wimbledon Whites quiz, and obviously we have 5 questions. Okay, we're going to go with number 1. Okay, first question. Wimbledon's strict dress code has existed in some form since the 1800s, but in what decade was the predominantly white guideline first formalised in writing?
1950s. Levi, 1950s.
Wrong.
60s. Xavier 60s.
1960s.
1860s.
Well, it's wrong. Yeah.
1980s.
1910.
1980s.
Yeah.
No.
1910.
1880s. Levi Huddleston.
Yes. Yes.
There you go. 1880s. There we go.
The predominantly white concept became formalised in the late 19th century as tennis grew in popularity among the upper classes. 1880s.
Not the Aussie Open, though. Not a leader sport down here. We go wild. Wear your fluoros. Put your Williams beads in your hair. Let's do it.
Number 2. Under the current Wimbledon regulations, how wide can a coloured trim or stripe be on any piece of play
Xavier.
clothing? Oh, you don't want the multiple choice? Okay, go. Who was in first? Dan?
Let's go with 1 centimetre.
I think it's literally half. 5 mil.
Dan was right.
Was it?
Oh, yeah. The coloured trim rule is famously
Really?
strict, no wider than 10 millimetres, which is a centimetre
Centimetres.
on any garment. Do you know I actually
guess.
dreamt about this last night? And a player went out on court and she had colours everywhere, and I was like, how is she getting away with this? That was my dream.
That's
Wimbledon
traumatic.
Whites have infiltrated me.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of insight into
It
my
is.
psyche. We're going to move on to number 3.
Please go.
Okay, true or false? Even players' underwear must be white if it
Xavier.
has any.
False.
It is false now, isn't
Because
it?
it used to be true. Because wasn't there a female player who got called out and then everyone was like, well, that's a bit stuffed up.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's been brought in because the women spoke about how when they're menstruating, wearing white is not ideal. And
Well,
as
yeah.
a woman, I can say, hand up,
Yeah.
not ideal. So women
But
are
also,
now allowed
women
to.
usually are playing in an attire
Skirts.
where they can expose things
Yeah, we've
more.
not yet seen a man play in a skirt, which is really
Hey,
disappointing.
you never know. This could be the year.
I know.
Bublik. Out there, nice little pleated number.
I'm into it.
thought
Okay,
there was
everyone's got 1 point
discrepancy.
each. We're moving on to number 4. Where is my 4 button? 4.
Smooth machine we're running here.
The strict enforcement of the all-white rule was dramatically increased following which controversial incident?
I'm going to go
Dan.
Tatiana Golovin wearing red, either, compression shorts or underpants.
That would be wrong. Would we like to go to the multiple choice?
Yes,
I have
please.
organised
Go
for
for
you. Okay, we have A. Serena Williams wore a pink headband in 2004. B. Andre Agassi refused to play due to the dress code in the early 90s. C. Roger Federer's orange soles in 2013. Or D. John McEnroe's logo protest in 1981.
Buzz Xavier me
Yep.
now, please. I reckon it's Federer's soles.
It was. Federer's orange-soled shoes made global headlines and triggered a crackdown and an enforcement further of the rules. Well done.
Strict.
Oh, nice quiz.
So strict, isn't it?
It's so bloody strict.
And like part of me, like, yeah, you know, that's the rules. But a part of me is like, ugh. That's my thought.
They're very good at keeping tradition alive. Wimbledon,
Yes.
I'll give them that. Okay, we're going on to our final
there's more. Okay.
question.
Oh, I
Number
Am
5.
I in the lead?
I think you are.
You are.
Yeah.
Get in!
Oh, God, never do that again. Number 5. Which famous British tennis figure once remarked, "You can never wear too much white at Wimbledon"? We have multiple choice.
Okay, good.
A. Fred Perry. B. Virginia Wade. C. Tim Henman. Or D. Sue Barker.
Oh, let's go Sue Barker.
You're right. So Sue Barker, the former player and iconic BBC broadcaster, famously defended the tradition with that quote. So we
Who would
have
dare argue otherwise?
a draw between Xavier and Dan.
All right,
There we go.
fight to the death.
Is there a
Choose your
tiebreak?
weapon.
Is there a tiebreak question?
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Just go.
let me think of something. Do
Oh,
I know
God.
something about white?
Anything from the literature?
What year did Todd Woodbridge come runner-up in singles at Wimbledon? Semi-final?
No, he didn't. He's played
definitely
semi-final.
didn't make the final. I'm going to go 1997 semi-finalist.
Is he right?
Question
oh,
enigma.
Dan wins! You're still figuring out the question I said wrong.
No,
Anyway.
you stuffed it up. I am outraged. I demand a recount. This is why I could never go to politics.
Okay, birthday
No,
boy.
that was good.
Okay, thank
Brie.
you so much, guys. Always love a
was a
quiz.
good one,
No, that was
Brie.
fun.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
giving
Very
me
good.
some time to shine, and thank you to my team to help me fact check.
Team. She has a team now. God.
You're just jealous.
Sorry, I am incredibly jealous.
So we're just moving on now to Ace of the Week, and we'll start with you, Xave.
Okay, this is my favourite part of the show. So normally I struggle, but I have an ace of the week. Technically, though, it's ace of next week, which ironically I think mine will be your ace of the week next week.
Yeah, we'll be.
I'm going on holiday.
Oh,
so
nice.
taking the fam, kids and I. Yeah, we're off to Fiji.
Oh, look
Oh.
out. We know what happens when you go overseas.
Yeah, everyone is pleasant. No one has any missing memories, and they don't come back with a weird tattoo.
No, he gets sick, doesn't
Stay
he?
healthy this time.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
last year?
Yes.
Yeah, I might have caught a little sliver of dengue fever. That wasn't super fun, but no, I've got all my jabs, shots, vaccines, whatever. Staying in a nice place. No, it's gonna be a hoot, and don't have to think about tennis for a week.
Great.
But I'll still be checking in on Wimbledon.
He won't
He
be.
lied.
Levi, how about you?
My ace of the week, it's just a small one, but I was able to play video games with my nephew who's over in the US.
Oh, that's cool.
And so him and my brother, we played. So that was really cool to get on there and just have some family time. So that was nice.
Oh my God, I love
Oh,
that. Do you
that's
wear a
very nice.
headset?
Very wholesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just go to town on him like, you're gonna die, little man.
It's a team-based game, so
Okay.
it's us versus another team.
Oh, okay, good.
But it's pretty funny. They're like, who is this guy? He's terrible. And I'm like, he's only 9.
I thought that meant you. So leave me alone, I'm old.
That too.
And how about you, Daniel Imhoff,
I'm gonna
who's just
delve
come back?
into, it was about a week ago, on a trip to Murcia with my partner last
you.
week in Spain, which is not a touristy part of Spain at all. And even less touristy on the outskirts is a little place called El Palmar, which is the hometown of Carlos Alcaraz.
Oh, wow, okay.
Oh, okay.
And
Tennis
it's
nut.
fair to say it is not a tourist hotspot whatsoever.
So
There
it's
is
not
a
Rafa
mural.
and Majorca, it's Alcaraz
Far
and...
from it.
Mallorca sounds very
Humble
different, yeah.
beginnings. And there's one mural there. A woman and her child got out of their car laughing at me for even taking a photo of it. So I don't think they really get what all the fuss is about.
Yeah.
It was a nice
Really?
little stop en route to Murcia.
I mean, yeah, get some TVs, guys. He's kind of a big deal in the tennis world.
Yeah, it was a fascinating insight.
Imhoff stopping traffic everywhere he
Yeah.
goes. Good one. All right, I'll step in here. Brie, what about yourself? What's your
You
ace
guys
of the
are
week?
all going to love this. So on Saturday, I'm going to Castlemaine with one of my girlfriends.
Oh, nice.
And we are going to see one of our favourite spiritual guides, one of our favourite tarot readers, Mel O, who now operates
Mellow.
out of
Her name's Mellow.
Mel
Oh, Mel O.
She operates out of Castlemaine in a cute little witchy shop up there. And that is, I will come in on Monday knowing exactly what my future holds and knowing exactly how to find the man of my dreams.
Okay, so you
can't
haven't,
wait.
have you never seen her before?
I've seen her so many times.
So what
It's
happened
such
last
an
time?
issue. I don't know. I just, my friend this morning told me, you just need to manifest. I was like, I've been manifesting for 25 years.
Maybe stop because it ain't working.
I feel like Mello looks forward to your visits.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
They
guessing
all
they're
do.
frequent.
I've
I'm
got-
guessing it's a cashy.
Guys, I've got multiple spiritual guides and they all see me coming and they rub their hands together.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's really exciting for me.
It doesn't, but also Castlemaine's a beautiful little place.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
visit.
We're
place.
going to the pub
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Dumpling the dog is coming. So it'll be lovely.
Yeah, the
So,
Railway
yeah.
pub, particularly good.
I think that's where we're going.
Nice one.
Yeah. But thank you to Dan and Levi, our amazing
Thanks for
guests, for
having
being
us.
here today. Save.
Rather to hoot.
Can't wait to have you off next week and have a little break. But we are going to throw it to our lovely production team to bring us home and tell you what to do. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Hey everyone, Harps and Andy here. Just want to remind you that you can watch every episode of The Tennis on our YouTube channel, Australian Open TV.
And we have an email as well, podcast@tennis.com.au. If you thought the show was amazing or you thought it was terrible, we are keen to hear from you. We'll read it. So feedback, comments, whatever it is, get in touch with us at our email and we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you later.